On February 4, 2013, 21-year-old Kelsie Schelling vanished without a trace, leaving her family devastated and desperate for answers. What began as a missing person case would evolve into a years-long saga of heartbreak, determination, and the pursuit of justice. This is the story of a young woman's disappearance, a mother's unwavering quest for the truth, and the long road to holding a killer accountable. But first, subscribe to our channel for more content, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Kelsie Schelling was born on February 18, 1991, in Yuma, Colorado. She was described by those who knew her as a vibrant, bubbly young woman with a big heart and a beautiful smile. Kelsie was very family-oriented, maintaining a close relationship with her mother, Laura Saxton, and her brother, Colby. She had a love for animals and children, often displaying a silly and light-hearted personality that endeared her to friends and family alike. As a young adult, Kelsie pursued her education at Northeastern Junior College, where she met Dunth Lucas in 2010. After 2 years at the college, both Kelsie and Dunth decided to leave the school. Kelsie had a brief stint living in California with friends, which she thoroughly enjoyed, but ultimately returned to Colorado due to the high cost of living. By early 2013, at the age of 21, Kelsie was working at Floor & Decor, a home improvement store in Denver, and was excited about her future prospects, including the unexpected but welcome news of her pregnancy. While initially shocked, Saxton remained supportive of her daughter's decision to keep the baby. Schelling was excited about her pregnancy and looked forward to becoming a mother. The father of the child was her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Dunth Lucas. The relationship between Kelsie Schelling and Dunth Lucas was characterized by toxicity and instability. Friends of Schelling described their connection as incredibly volatile, with Lucas often treating her poorly and using her for money, her car, and her apartment. Despite the mistreatment, Schelling appeared to love Lucas deeply, often driving 2 hours from Denver to Pueblo at his request. This dynamic showcased a clear imbalance of power and affection in their relationship. Lucas's behavior towards Schelling was consistently degrading and manipulative. He spoke to her in a demeaning manner and exhibited little genuine care for her well-being. When Schelling informed Lucas of her pregnancy, his initial response was dismissive and unenthusiastic, texting, "Why would I want to see that?" in response to her sonogram image. This reaction, coupled with his subsequent actions to lure her to Pueblo under the guise of a surprise, demonstrated a pattern of emotional manipulation that ultimately led to tragic consequences. The toxic nature of their relationship was further evidenced by Lucas's apparent lack of concern or emotional distress following Schelling's disappearance, as noted by her family and investigators. On the evening of February 4, 2013, Schelling finished her shift at Floor & Decor, a home improvement store in Denver, Colorado. Just before 10 p.m., she then made the fateful decision to drive 2 hours to Pueblo to meet Lucas, who had promised her a surprise. Text messages between Schelling and Lucas reveal a troubling sequence of events. Lucas first directed Schelling to meet him at a Walmart on the south side of Pueblo. When she arrived, he kept her waiting, telling her he was almost there. After about an hour, Lucas instructed Schelling to go to his grandmother's house instead. The last text message Schelling sent to Lucas was at 11:18 p.m. saying, "Where are you? I've been here over an hour just waiting." This would be the last confirmed communication from Kelsie Schelling. When Schelling failed to show up for work on February 5th, her colleagues became concerned. They reached out to Laura Saxton, who hadn't heard from her daughter since their conversation about the pregnancy. Alarm bells began to ring. Saxton immediately took action, driving to Kelsie's apartment in Denver. She found nothing out of place, but Kelsie's car was missing. Fearing the worst, Saxton filed a missing persons report with the Denver police. In her desperation for answers, Saxton reached out to Don Lucas. He claimed he had seen Schelling after her shift, saying they met up in Pueblo around 2:00 a.m. on February 5th. According to Lucas, they had a brief conversation about the baby before Schelling left. He also mentioned that Schelling had talked about returning to California, a detail that struck Saxton as odd. As the investigation unfolded, disturbing details began to emerge. Surveillance footage from the Walmart parking lot showed an unknown man parking Schelling's car during the day on February 5th. The same man was seen returning to the car the following day, unlocking it and driving away. 8 days after Schelling's disappearance, her car was found abandoned at a hospital in Pueblo. Video surveillance once again showed a man, believed to be the same individual from the Walmart footage, parking the car and walking away. Perhaps most damning was the discovery that on February 5th, Schelling's bank card had been used at a local ATM. Footage showed Don Lucas using Schelling's car and card to withdraw $400. Despite these suspicious circumstances, investigators initially lacked enough evidence to charge Lucas with a crime. He was briefly arrested for identity theft related to the ATM withdrawal, but was released when it was revealed that Schelling sometimes allowed him to use her bank card. As months turned into years, Schelling's family grew increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress in the case. Laura Saxton took matters into her own hands, hiring a private investigator and organizing community searches around Pueblo. The family's efforts to keep Kelsie's case in the public eye included offering a $50,000 reward for information and creating a Facebook page called Help Find Kelsie. In February 2019, they even increased the reward to $100,000 for the month, marking the 6th anniversary of Schelling's disappearance and what would have been her 28th birthday. Throughout the years, Laura Saxton never gave up hope of finding her daughter. She made regular 2-mile drives from her home in Yuma, Colorado, to Pueblo, tirelessly searching for any clues that might lead to Kelsie. Now that she is gone, I've had to turn into a fighter, Saxton told ABC's 2020. Her relentless pursuit of justice would prove crucial in keeping the case alive and eventually bringing Kelsie's killer to justice. In 2016, the case finally gained new momentum when Pueblo Police Captain Eric Bravo took over the investigation with the help of Colorado Bureau of Investigation CBI agent Kevin Torres. They reclassified Schelling's disappearance from a missing person case to a criminal investigation. A crucial break came when investigators learned about Lucas' relationship with Lauren Sewer, a young single mother who had taken it upon herself to get close to Lucas and gather information about Schelling's disappearance. Sewer revealed that Lucas had admitted to her that he was the one who had moved Schelling's car, contradicting his earlier statements to police. In late 2017, another opportunity arose when Lucas was implicated in an unrelated robbery. As authorities prepared to arrest him for that crime, they received information that Lucas was planning to flee to Arizona, possibly with the intention of crossing into Mexico. Acting quickly, investigators secured an arrest warrant for the robbery charge and apprehended Lucas at Denver International Airport just 20 minutes before he was set to board a flight to Tucson. While in custody, Lucas finally admitted to police that he had picked up Schelling's car and dropped it off at the hospital. This admission, combined with the text message records, surveillance video, and the mountain of investigative material accumulated over the years, gave prosecutors the confidence to move forward with murder charges on December 1, 2017, nearly 5 years after Kelsie Schelling's disappearance. Don Lucas was charged with first-degree murder. When initially questioned by police, Lucas gave inconsistent accounts of his interactions with Schelling. He first claimed they met around 2:03 a.m. on February 5th, but later changed the time to midnight or the night before. Lucas initially said they met at Walmart, then changed it to his grandmother's house, and finally claimed they met at a localer. He told police Schelling had informed him she was no longer pregnant after supposedly visiting the hospital, but investigators found no record of her being there. During a recorded phone call with Denver detective Ted Bennett, Lucas made several claims. He said Schelling called him from a private number on February 9th, yelling at him to stop leaving voicemails and to leave her alone. Lucas suggested Schelling may have gone to California to work at a tanning salon and be with an ex-boyfriend. He described meeting Schelling at Walmart arguing, then separating until she texted him around a.m. to come over. In a later interrogation in 2017, Lucas finally admitted to moving Schelling's car. He confessed to being the person seen on surveillance footage dropping off Schelling's car at the hospital. Lucas claimed he was scared and didn't know what to do, but stopped short of confessing to murder. The trial of Dunth Lucas began on February 3, 2021, almost 8 years to the day since Schelling vanished. The prosecution faced significant challenges, chief among them the lack of a body, crime scene, or murder weapon. Despite these obstacles, prosecutors Kyle McCarthy and Jeff Chostner built a compelling case against Lucas. They argued that Lucas, not wanting Schelling to have their baby, had lured her to Pueblo with the intention of killing her. Key evidence included: 1. Text messages between Lucas and Schelling, which the prosecution argued showed his intent to lure her to Pueblo. 2. Surveillance video of Lucas alone at Walmart and cell phone data indicating he had been driving Schelling's car after her disappearance. 3. Testimony from Schelling's friends about Lucas' abusive behavior and his habit of using Schelling for money and her car. 4. Statements from Lauren Sewer about Lucas' admissions regarding moving Schelling's car. 5. Testimony from Ryan Rivera, a former jail inmate who claimed Lucas had told him that investigators would never find Schelling's body. The defense, on the other hand, maintained that this was still a missing person case. They attempted to paint Schelling as a drug user who might have met with a dealer after leaving Lucas at Walmart, though prosecutors argued there was no evidence to support this claim. A surprising move. The defense chose not to call any witnesses, instead relying on the argument that the prosecution had failed to meet its burden of proof. After a 13-day trial, the jury reached a unanimous decision on their first vote. On March 8, 2021, Dunth Lucas was found guilty of first-degree murder in connection with the death or disappearance of Kelsie Schelling. He was immediately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for Laura Saxton and the rest of Schelling's family. The verdict brought a measure of closure, but also highlighted the painful reality that Kelsie's body had still not been found. "It was just so emotional for everybody, for both sides," Saxton said after the trial. "I mean, it's a sad story. It's a sad situation that didn't have to end up like this. If he had just let her come home." In March 2023, Dunth Lucas appealed his conviction to the Colorado Court of Appeals. His appeal was based on 3 main arguments. 1. The trial court improperly admitted evidence of other acts not directly related to Schelling's murder. 2. The court wrongly allowed canine decomposition detection evidence. And 3. There was misconduct in the prosecuting attorney's closing remarks. However, the appeals court rejected these arguments in a 24-page opinion. The court found that, even if some evidence was improperly admitted, any errors were harmless, given the overwhelming evidence of Lucas's guilt. They also determined that the prosecutor's statements during closing arguments did not undermine the fundamental fairness of the trial. Ultimately, the appeals court upheld Lucas's conviction, ruling that he had received a fair trial despite his objections. Despite the conviction, the location of Kelsie Schelling's remains a mystery. During the trial, investigators revealed troubling information about a possible disposal site. Evidence emerged of suspicious activity at the Pueblo landfill on the night of Schelling's disappearance. Surveillance footage showed an unidentified vehicle at the site, and workers reported that the lock on the front gate had been tampered with. Cell phone data suggested that Lucas could have been in the vicinity of the landfill that night. However, authorities have stated that conducting a systematic search of the landfill for Schelling's remains would be nearly impossible due to the vast area and the time that has passed for Laura Saxton. The thought of her daughter's body being left in a landfill is unbearable. There should be every effort made to go in there and pull her out of there if that's where she ended up being, she said. I know that is a long shot than anybody would even try to help us with that. Even with Lucas behind bars, Laura Saxton's fight for justice and closure continues. She still hopes to bring Kelsie and her unborn grandchild home for a proper burial. I'm never going to recover without getting her back, Saxton said. I still have nowhere to go to take her flowers, to go sit and talk with her, take her balloons on her birthday, go to her on the holidays. I have nothing. Dunn took that away from me. Saxton's unwavering determination throughout the years played a crucial role in keeping Kelsie's case alive and ultimately bringing her killer to justice. Her story serves as a testament to the power of a mother's love and the importance of never giving up in the pursuit of truth. As the years pass, Laura Saxton and her family continue to honor Kelsie's memory. They remember her as a young woman with a big heart, a beautiful smile, and a love for animals and children. I would like to have known what she finally settled on as a career, if she ever would have got married, had more kids, all those things, Saxton reflected. In Pueblo, a park bench and tree near the city park rides were dedicated to the memory of Kelsie Schelling and her unborn child, Kadri. It serves as a quiet place of remembrance for a life cut tragically short, and a poignant reminder of the impact one person's disappearance can have on a community. The case of Kelsie Schelling is a haunting reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence and the long, painful journey that families of missing persons often face. It highlights the importance of persistence in cold cases and the crucial role that advances in forensic technology and investigative techniques can play in solving crimes years after they occur. While the conviction of Dunn Lucas brought a measure of justice, the absence of Kelsie's remains leaves a painful void for her family. Their ongoing search for closure serves as a powerful testament to the enduring bonds of love and the human spirit's capacity to persevere in the face of unimaginable loss.